Om Shri Gangai Nathaya Namaha. Today we are going to discuss the writings of Sadgurudev Shri Ram Lalji Siag. These are the articles written by himself, Shri Gurudev, in his diary. In his diary, he told us all about the beginning of his spiritual life. This is an article written by him on 12th February 1988. As Gurudev writes, "In my early life, I have been a complete atheist. I did not believe in any power called God. I believed in the sole power of man, because from the very beginning I came in contact with people working in the labor union. So I became more inclined towards politics. My basic nature has been that I always remain firm on my beliefs. Thus, by walking on my path, I complete every task in the shortest time and expect its result. I do not believe in any such work which does not give any result for a long time. I believe that just as the taste of any food item is felt as soon as it is put in the mouth, similarly, there should be a direct experience about every work. I consider doing any work without any result to be futile. Today's extroverted spiritual worship does not give any direct experience. With the help of blind faith alone, man remains entangled in rituals throughout his life. But still, he gets nothing. The clever religious leaders of this era have very cleverly created beliefs and principles. The religious result of every work will be seen in the next birth. So, with faith and belief, they keep man running like an oilman's bull throughout his life. In this way, the lives of countless people of the world have been made meaningless. This was the reason that I gradually became a complete atheist. It is my nature that I say what I think and I do what I say. People are atheists only in name. Atheism vanishes as soon as they face a little trouble. Even a country like Russia had reopened places of worship for all religions during the Second World War. But I, like Kalidas, remained adamant on my stubbornness. Thus, as soon as this excess crossed its limit, a huge explosion took place. I reached the same condition as the people of Hiroshima. I was in such a strange and horrific mental state that I could not understand anything. All physical treatments failed. The situation had become so terrible that I started thinking that now it was the last time. There is not much fear in such a situation. One of my friends, Shri Ram Dubey, advised me to chant Gayatri Mantra. I had no faith in any power, but due to fear of death, I readily agreed to do as he told me. My mental state at that time was such that on one side, death was standing in front of me. On the other side, I was making a pitiful cry to that invisible power to save my life. In such a situation, one can easily understand what concentration and pitiful cry would be like. The target was to chant 1.25 lakh times as per the rules, and thus about 3.5 months were spent in this task. Even for such a long time, the state of concentration and the cry of compassion remained the same. After waking up at 4 in the morning, the program of chanting continued uninterrupted till 7:30 and from 7 to 9 in the evening. The day after completing 1.25 lakh chants, I stopped chanting the next day, but out of habit, I woke up in the morning at exactly 4 o'clock. Because I did not have to chant, I kept lying on the bed with my eyes closed. I started chanting from the Navratri that started in the year 1968, so it was very cold. I was lying down with my eyes closed, covered with a quilt, and what do I see? I saw a strange kind of white light inside me from my navel to my throat. Apart from the light, no other organ of the body like liver, spleen, lungs, heart, etc. was visible. I was surprised to see that light is visible with the eyes. Then what kind of light is this inside? Apart from this, why is no organ visible even in such a fierce white light? As I concentrated more on that, I heard the humming of a bee which was coming from the navel. I wondered how the sound of a bee was coming from the stomach. As I concentrated on that sound, I started hearing clearly that the Gayatri Mantra was being chanted inside on its own. I did not see anyone chanting it, yet it continued uninterrupted. I kept watching and listening to all this for about 10 to 15 minutes and kept thinking in my mind that how strange it is that light comes from the eyes and sound from the throat. But how is all this being heard and seen much below those organs? At around 5 o'clock, when the tap water in the bathroom fell on the floor with a loud noise, my concentration was disturbed. The children had left the tap open in the evening. After this, I got up, completed my daily course, and went to work. I thought that this thought must have remained because of the same program going on for such a long time and my attention being constantly on it. But after this, such a change came that I became completely incapable of doing anything. After this, such a change came that I became completely incapable of using pan, cigarette, tea, etc. I would get very nervous as soon as I thought of using them. Thus, it became impossible to use these things even if I wanted to. I would get very nervous while eating with someone and even while telling a little lie in any sphere of life. Since I had completely stopped chanting, this situation gradually calmed down and I started living my life like a normal person again. But a peculiarity came into my body that if my mind and heart started thinking more concentratedly on any purpose of life, then its clear result would be visible like television. Much earlier and later that event would happen exactly as I had seen it. In this way, for about a year, I kept getting innumerable proofs, and everything kept happening in the physical world exactly as I had seen it. I had never imagined that a collection of words has such a strange power and strength. So out of curiosity, I thought of worshipping again. I thought of worshipping the greatest power. After much thought, I decided to worship Lord Krishna and started worshipping. Keeping Lord Krishna's picture in front of me like Gayatri, I started chanting Krishna's Bij Mantra. I did not set any specific number for this, and I did not have any specific purpose. Out of curiosity to see what happens now, I continued chanting in the same manner, morning and evening, for about 2.5 to 3 years. One day, I thought that I must have chanted Gayatri Mantra more than 100 times, but I have not felt anything like that yet. As I thought this, a strange situation arose. I started seeing a shadow from my side all the time. When I looked straight, I could not see anything. I thought that I had some eye disease. I went to the doctor, but no such disease was found. I continued with the same routine and chanting. One day I thought that I had no knowledge of this science. I might get into unnecessarily troubles. Thinking this, I stopped chanting the mantra, but the shadow did not stop appearing. I thought that there might be some harm in this. It is not happening. If it is visible, then let it be visible. Only a short time had passed since I had stopped chanting like this. One night, I was sleeping in my village when at about 5 a.m. I heard a voice clearly saying, "Son, you should chant only Krishna." I heard this voice clearly twice. Suddenly my eyes opened, but I could not understand who called me. But still I stopped chanting. It was a habit of years. I was feeling a bit awkward without chanting. One day, I thought I have called you by addressing you with the word son. So whatever good or bad happens, the responsibility will be of the one who called you. Why should I be a part of this blame? With this thought, I removed all the pranavs and started chanting only Krishna. A small word, and then when it picked up speed, it started moving at a speed 10 times faster than the previous one. It must have been about a year that a very strange incident happened. One day around 4 a.m. in a semi-awake state, I see that I am sitting in a room. There is another room just like that between that room and mine. There is a door in which a very beautiful pink velvet curtain is hanging right up to the bottom. As soon as I looked at that curtain, I saw it moving as if it was being moved by a gust of wind. Just then a voice came from the other room. "Look, don't move it, it will come apart." I replied, "If a strong gust of wind comes, it will come apart and come back to its original state." A voice came from the other side. "Do you understand the meaning of its moving away?" I replied, "Could there be any meaning other than the one I just told you?" "Is it?" A voice came from the other side. "Yes. See what it does. What does it mean to move aside? With this statement, the curtain or the scene disappeared. And what do I see? A man whose curtain has been removed has become clairvoyant. Thus, his attachment has been completely destroyed. His distinction between self and other has been completely destroyed. He looks at all the creatures of the world with the same eyes. He has neither attachment nor enmity towards anyone. I have given you the word Kulgo with open mouth. Why only that? All the chanting words should be followed. In the same way, I have given you the word E. Immediately after this, the same pink curtain becomes visible again, and then a voice comes from there saying, "See, this is the meaning of removing this curtain." I said, "This is a very good thing. This is what I am doing all this for." A voice comes from there saying, "All this is fine, but there is a word, Yog Bhrasht. What is it? Do you know about it?" I said, "If any bad thing happens during worship, it leads to downfall of worship." A voice comes from the other side. "It is something like this, but this is not the correct definition. You have small children, a wife, a mother. All of them are completely dependent on you. It is true that if you remove this curtain, then your condition will become exactly like what you have seen now. But these beings have little knowledge of this. When you leave them at this young age, then the pitiful cry and wailing of these souls will overwhelm you, and thus, having become Yog Bhrasht, you will fall again. Now do as you think it is right." Hearing this, I got into a dilemma. I asked, I had never imagined that even worship can have such a terrible result. A voice came from the other side that the course of karma is very deep. No one can know it. After thinking for a while, when I could not understand what to do next, I asked the same invisible voice, "I am unable to understand what I should do now, so please guide me. I am ready to do the same." On my prayer, a voice came from the other room, saying that since it has been moved, it will move by itself at the appointed time. Now move it. and perform your duty by roaming in the field of action. With these words, the scene disappeared and I opened my eyes. It was dawn, so after completing my daily course, I garlanded the picture of Lord Sri Krishna and took leave. This happened around 18. After this, I worked actively in various positions in labor organizations and Rajasthan Kisan Union till 1983. But as I had developed complete faith in the miracles of the spiritual world, I kept focusing on it all the time. I had become accustomed to doing most of the material world's work under the guidance of spiritual powers. This was the reason that I faced very few failures. Whatever work I put my hands on, I succeeded. In 1982, I had received a clear order to separate myself from the labor organization, but I did not pay much attention to it. Due to not following this order, I had to face huge failures and disappointments in material life, whereas earlier, whatever work I used to put my hands on, it used to be successful. Fortunately, in March-April 1983, I got the opportunity to apply the dust of the feet of Saint Sadgurudev Baba Sri Gangainathji Yogi on my forehead. This created a new consciousness in my life and life became more joyful. But the time of happiness in my life has been very short. In June-July 1983, I had to face a lot of mental anxiety. There were constant spiritual signals of going to Jamsar, but unfortunately I could not understand them. On 23rd August 1983, I was separated from my job without any reason. I remained sitting at home without any reason, but still could not go to Gurudev's shelter. Gurudev's shelter was at his Samadhi in Jamsar, Bikaner. Unfortunately, on the night of 31st December 1983, Baba Sri Gangainathji left this physical world. Baba Ramnathji, a resident of Sujan Desar, met me in front of Bikaner station while going to Jamsar to make arrangements for the first Bhandara. On hearing the news of Babaji's death, the ground seemed to slip from under my feet. Baba Ramnathji insisted me a lot to go to Bhandara, but with a heavy heart, I apologized to him and went to Ganga Shahar. The support of my physical father was also snatched away at the young age of 3 years, and similarly, my spiritual father also left me in the support of God in a few days. Thus, like my physical life, I was forced to spend my future spiritual life in struggles. The material life was limited to earning a livelihood, and even in that, one had to face terrible difficulties. One never even experienced something called happiness. The field of this spiritual life is the whole world, just like the physical life. It is clear that I will have to struggle with the adverse circumstances in this life too. I have been thrown into the battlefield of this world all alone to struggle with adverse and difficult circumstances with only the support of God. Like Arjun, all the paths have been blocked. Only one path of struggle has been left open. Sometimes I feel very disappointed seeing that I will have to fight all these demonic tendencies of the world all alone. But when I look at my past life and see how I have reached here all alone, defeating adverse and difficult circumstances, I get some courage. Apart from this, the other support is that invisible infinite power which has already shown the scenes of my entire life till my last breath, like a movie trailer in pieces, and even today that complete power is guiding me at every step. I have been told with proof that whatever is to be done is a predetermined arrangement, and even the slightest manipulation is not possible in it. I was unable to calculate how much power was gained by throwing me into difficult situations, making me do spiritual worship, and Gurudev effortlessly gave me such immense spiritual wealth as inheritance. It is not possible for me to even estimate it. I am clearly feeling that I am just a puppet, which the infinite power is making dance according to its will. I have been clearly told that I have reached the last shore of this world's ocean. That merciful Almighty has bent down and held my right hand firmly in His right hand. In such a situation, with just a little effort, I will get out of this world's ocean. I have been clearly told that my effort is absolutely necessary for this. Without it, it is not possible to complete the task. With the help of some such guidelines and orders, I have set out alone. I have been told clearly that how will I reach that highest peak, crossing which valleys, passes, and the most dreadful jungles and deserts. People of the world have very little knowledge about that supreme power at present, but in the last few times there has been an unprecedented pace in these efforts. This is a clear proof of the fact that supreme power has incarnated, and with the determined gradual development, it is rapidly spreading its light in the world. As the time of sunrise approaches, the light of stars starts dimming. It keeps happening. The stars do not like this falling state of their power at all, but despite the opposition of all these stars, the time of sunrise does not decrease. In this way, as soon as it rises, the power of all the stars vanishes, even though they remain in their original state. The same is the situation of the world today. The religious leaders of various sects and religions do not accept this situation, but like the stars, they too will have no control. Everyone will keep watching helplessly. Maharishi Arvind has seen this clearly, hence he had clearly declared the descent of that power. I clearly feel that when I talk of direct experience and realization, the people of the world start looking at me with disbelief and questioning eyes. They do not believe my words at all. When I talk of Nam Kumari and Nam Amal, they do not believe at all. All our sages have spoken about direct experience and realization, which Swami Vivekananda has repeated in front of the world in the last century. Saint Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Kabir Das Ji have clearly disclosed about Nam Kumari and Nam Amal, but due to the total empire of tamasic powers, the human beings of this age are unable to understand it. The human beings of this age are not at fault in this. This is the nature of this age. If the world was not in such a state, the descent of that supreme power would not have been possible. When I talk about the subtle body, the casual body, and the soul and say that the direct experience and realization is possible, then the people of this age are astonished and start looking at me. Thus I see that if I had started talking about Satlok, Alaklok and Agamlok beyond the worlds of Maya, then the humans of this age will completely rebel. When it seems impossible for the humans of this age to have knowledge of the experiences while living in the realm of Maya, then they will consider the talks of the world beyond Maya to be completely imaginary and untrue. I have been getting the knowledge and direct experience of the various worlds of the above mentioned spiritual world for a long time. All these experiences have been verified in the physical world as well, but I was not in a position to make others experience them. After Gurudev's death, when people related to me started having all these experiences, I was very surprised. I was completely ignorant of the philosophical aspects of Hinduism, so I could not understand it at all. After contacting many people of philosophy, I came to know that when a true spiritual saint reaches near his end, he becomes clairvoyant due to getting divine sight. In this way, he gets complete knowledge of which person he has to hand over all the spiritual powers to through Shaktipat. So on the strength of his spiritual power, he calls him to himself and makes him surrender and thus at the time of surrender, he enters all his powers into that person through the principle of Shaktipat. But as long as this saint is physically present in this world, all the powers basically work under him. As soon as he leaves the body, all the powers enter completely into the person on whom the saint has done Shaktipat. In this way, when the miracle of those powers starts manifesting physically through that person, then slowly the whole situation starts becoming clear to him. In this way, my Gurudev has unintentionally given me such immense spiritual wealth as inheritance, the full knowledge of which I do not have in today's situation. Sri Aurobindo has clearly said that every work in the world is more or less filled with spiritual power. The so-called spiritualists of this age have divided the material world and the spiritual world into two parts and have drawn an artificial line, Lakshman Rekha, in between. This is the main reason for the disappearance of spiritual knowledge. Sri Aurobindo has clearly said, when the material existence accepts the subordination of the spiritual existence and starts following its orders, that very day heaven will descend on the earth. Describing the experiences that Sri Aurobindo had during his 1-year imprisonment, he has written that God has clearly told him that my power is working in those who are fighting for freedom and those who are opposing, also working under the orders of my power. In this way, the whole world is active due to my power. Even a leaf cannot move without my wish. In this way, we see that all the creatures in the world are mere puppets. They have to dance as the supreme power makes them dance. In this way, I have been made to understand very well that whatever is to happen is pre-planned. If you do not get the truth, then it is not possible to enter this world. Based on the feelings, I set out into every field without caring about the material resources. The direct experiences till date have completely convinced me that no work can stop due to lack of material resources. When I look at my actual situation from the beginning till today, I find that the power which is showing its power through me has not contributed the least bit to my intelligence or any of my powers. That supreme power is making me dance according to its will even without my wish. That is why whatever is being done through me, I have absolutely no feeling of being the doer for it. In this regard, I am completely assured I do not have any kind of delusion. I have prayed to Gurudev, God, in clear words, that I am ready to dance in every way, but the profit and loss will be yours. I am only entitled to the wages. When people related to me give me the credit of some work out of devotion, then I tell them clearly that, brother, whatever is happening due to the order of God and the grace of my Guru. I am just an ordinary person like you people. I have no right to take the credit for whatever is happening. My ambitions inspire me to do something else, but due to circumstances, I have to do something else. Therefore, I am not at all ready to take this false credit. This article written by Gurudev tells us how he started his spiritual life. The topic or the title given to this article written by Gurudev in his own diary is the beginning of my spiritual life, and he clearly explains that how he was completely into the work of labor union and material world, and how circumstantially he was forced to a spiritual lining in his life. And then he met Dada Gurudev, Baba Shri Gangainath Ji Yogi, and after meeting him, he realized the true meaning of life. He chanted the mantra given by Dada Gurudev to him, and he became a worshipper of Lord Shri Krishna. How he started his journey, he was chanting Gayatri mantra and then he started chanting Krishna. He had a spiritual experience in which he saw a curtain where he decided that, afterwards he had to lead a very, very spiritual life. and by the blessings of Dada Gurdev, he inherited the Guru Pad. So Dada Gurdev transferred or gave Shaktipat initiation to Gurdev and transferred all his power to him. So this is a priceless article written by Gurdev for all the sadhaks, just in case we want to know how Gurdev started his spiritual beginning. Jai Gurdev.